accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Thanks to our decades of experience, we know what your case is worth, and we'll fight to get you every penny you deserve. Consultations are simple and always free, because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Yes, The Monty Show, standing on business as always. How the heck are you? Happy Tuesday. Hope your equipment works better than ours. Presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. Call them today or get online and chat with an attorney for free. Theadvocates.com, where you never pay the advocates out of pocket. Never. You never reach into your pocket to scratch them a check. Really, you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. Tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show at theadvocates.com. Jake being an a-hole. No more than Mike Smith is. Mike Smith already in the comment section talking about breakfast sandwiches.
Cow, bro.
Assholes. Well, you just show up. You get out of bed some days, and it's like, all right, it's Tuesday. You know what that means? It's Wednesday. You know what that means? Oh, it's Sunday. You know what that means?
Okay.
I don't
Stay
know.
hard.
Exactly right. How the heck are you? Appreciate you guys being here on the Monty Show. Victor Wembanyama, before we get to everybody melting down over college football, everybody's favorite linguine noodle posted a triple-double, including blocks last night.
Right.
Excited? Are you?
Yeah, I mean, he's playing better. He's playing better. He's still got
So
to lift
you're
some
excited?
weights. But yeah, I mean, he's playing better. I'm not excited yet, but he's playing better.
I think that it's a freak show. And I think Victor Wembanyama has come a long way. I think physically you can see the difference in Victor Wembanyama. Like, he looks physically better. He is more athletic. He is able to run the floor. I think Victor Wembanyama is just beginning. I think this is the start. This is nowhere near the end.
Mm-hmm.
I think Victor Wembanyama is playing at a very high level, and I think this is a guy, and we're going to have this conversation today about LeBron, Steph, KD coming to the twilight of their career. And I don't know that Steph is in the twilight of his career. I think we're seeing the best Steph Curry we've ever seen. But I think certainly LeBron and Kevin Durant are on the wrong side of 30 here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, LeBron's on the wrong side of 40. I think guys like Victor Wembanyama are critically important to the future success of this league, because I don't know, for everything he does on the floor, is Anthony Edwards the character that can carry the NBA? Is Tyrese Halliburton the guy that can carry the NBA? Devin Booker's not that dynamic personality, right? I don't know what the next generation looks like, but if Victor Wembanyama is part of it, I think you have something to be very excited about.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you're in a great spot. I think that, you know, those names, Anthony Edwards, Halliburton, they got to get to bigger markets. I think, you know, with all due respect
Victor
to
doesn't.
I think Victor's the exception because it's San Antonio, and San Antonio has proven their ability to go out and win championships and build rosters and do things. I think that's the one asterisk there. I think Indiana hasn't sniffed the NBA Finals in a really long time. I think Minnesota is a nice little emerging market for the NBA, but I think if you're Anthony Edwards, you're probably much flashier in LA or New York, you know. And I think, you know, to carry the NBA, you got to be in one of those bigger cities.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that coming up on the show. I certainly think this conversation about the NFL versus college football and who is winning that battle, I think is fascinating. The viewership numbers coming out of the Super Bowl. You guys understand that the Super Bowl this past Sunday is the most watched television show ever, period. End of discussion. Over 200 million people watched all or part of the Super Bowl on in some way, shape, or form. Look at those numbers.
It's the other way.
Look at those numbers. That's a unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a unicorn. 123.4 million average viewers. The most streamed Super Bowl in history, led by a Paramount Plus audience that was so overwhelming it crashed their platform. Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
I don't know what you say about 202.5 million people watching one singular TV show, because we've never even gotten close to that in college football. If you look at the largest college football playoff championship game ever, it was 34.14 million people.
Mm-hmm. Not even in the same ballpark.
Not even in the conversation.
Yeah.
And note that was 2014. If you look down
over by me
there,
and stuff right there. Up, right.
That was 2014. And the number has only come down from there. I think you're a very interesting example of this, Jake, because you are not the passionate football fan that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more of a college or an NFL football fan?
I would say, generally speaking, I'm more of an NFL fan. I'm here for big time college football games. You know, I love the like Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, Georgia, hell, even Georgia Auburn this past year was a really good game that I really enjoyed watching. So I'm here for the bigger game, the Oregon Washington game that we got multiple times. Like, I like that type of college football, but I'm not here for low end Big 10 game or low end Big 12 ACC game. Like, I'm not here for meaningless, irrelevant football. Like, I'm not the guy you're going to see watching football just because you're on a football field with a helmet on. That's not me. I would much rather have a ball game on. I'd much rather be watching hoop or even hockey. I love the NHL. So for me, when I look at these NFL stats, I look at this and I say, I think it's a couple factors. Number one, I think the NFL is the thing that brings everybody together. Like, even if you're not a Chiefs or 49ers fan, you're excited about the Super Bowl because the culture in our country is like, hey, let's all get together. Let's have a party, whether that's a low-key get-together, whether that's a Waste Management Phoenix Open Rager,
mate.
You know what I mean? Like, so our culture, number one, is to get everybody together, have a party, have fun with it, and do that type of thing. So I think that's the first portion of it. But I think to that end, that's why this number is so impressive. Think about it. How many people came over to one house and watched the game on one TV, and you still got 200 million views? So that tells me that we're probably 250, 260, 270 of actual human beings who watch this game. When you think about, hey, like, there were 10 people at my house watching one TV.
Yeah.
So, like, to me, when I think about that, that's a huge factor. The other piece of this, though, is the Paramount Plus portion. I think streaming has enabled you to get to these kind of numbers because I don't have to have a TV to watch this game. And if you're a college student, if you're overseas, if you're like whatever situation you're in, if you stream, you can watch this game. And that is why you're able to get to 200 million overall big picture high level views. Is
college football a more compelling product than the NFL? I don't think you can make that argument in any way, shape, or form. I think the athletes, the speed, the precision, the execution is far better in the NFL. I think you are playing for life and death stakes in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think college football, a lot of fans, and I hear it all the time, we talk about it on the show all the time, that this NIL transfer portal nonsense that is just now getting adjudicated in college sports has really taken a lot of the flair and the fire away from college football fans. And while I am somebody that is passionate about Notre Dame football and college football in general, I don't know that there's anything better than a big SEC matchup. I don't think there's anything better than your team playing its rival than a BYU and Utah, and Ohio State and TTUN, like I don't know that there's anything better than the I don't have any other names for Michigan, but the point is, I don't know that there's anything better than a big college football game. Oh, wait, yeah, there is. It was the Chiefs and Niners the other night going to overtime with the 49ers not knowing the rules, which is remarkable to me. You have these compelling games where legacies are being written and erased, and you just don't get that in college football. You get guys like Nick Saban, who is inarguably now the greatest college football coach ever, simply walking away from the game because he's tired of the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that makes it very difficult for fan bases to be in love. And Kalen DeBoer is a hell of a football coach. He's not Nick Saban, nor will he ever be. And I think if you're an Alabama fan, you're probably at ground zero of this conversation. I think It's very difficult if you're a Washington fan to be excited about Jed Fish. I think it's very difficult if you're a Michigan fan to see what's looming in front of you and be excited. I don't think there's any doubt that if you are in the state of Michigan and we're talking about the Wolverines versus the Lions, you are far more excited about Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions than you are about the future of Michigan football. And they just won a national championship. And again, I point back to this issue that we have in college football that we refuse to talk about or legislate, if you will, and that is NIL and the transfer portal. It is absolutely killing a lot of programs, and there are few exceptions of college football programs, let's say Colorado, in prime time, who are making the most of it, right? Like that, I think, is the issue. There are so many programs that are shrinking under NIL and the transfer portal. And listen, I see our comment section yesterday when we were talking about college football, where old school coaches can't keep up with the new school. Hey, maybe that is the case. But the bottom line is you're never going to be able to replicate what guys like Nick Saban did. It's wild to me that we have NFL coordinators, college football head coaches leaving their posts to go be coordinators in the NFL because they just want to coach football. That's wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I frankly, folks, I don't know how you fix that. And I think it is a systemic existential crisis for college football. You have got to get your hands around NIL and the transfer portal because I think it is absolutely killing the sport.
Yeah, I think the politics of it all is why the NFL dominates. I think, college football is loaded with politics and heat and vitriol and, Twitter tough guy on the Michigan thing or, the Ohio State thing or, there's always some situation in college football. Whereas in the NFL, we can have fun with the Taylor Swift thing. We can poke the bear and, not throw hands at each other for whatever reason. And I think it really just comes down to the fact that the NFL is for whatever reason, the NFL just has this thing about it where it's sort of just it's above it. It's above all this sort of cesspool of drama in college football. The NFL, not even just in sheer talent and rank, but just in feeling as an observer. Like you turn on the NFL and you're like, cool, man, like who we got today? What are the matchups? Like, what are the stats? Like, I want to see some tape breakdown. Like, it's all about football. And then it's like, oh, there's Taylor Swift in the box. All right, right back to football, right? Like, there's no, hey, Jim's going to leave after this national championship game. Or, hey, we're going to a 12-team college football playoff, and that's going to completely change the conversation.
But look at all the momentum that we had last August. Look at the pure elation and excitement that college football fans from the Pac-12 to the Big 12 to the Big 10, look at all of the realignment power that was there. It united us as college football fans, right? Like, remember the shows we did where we were just full of pure joy and elation for, the Power Five and the moment that we all recognized my greatness and my authority in college football, and that I was something more than a sex symbol to your wife when
stalwartness,
the Pac-12 melted down and the realignment that came out of that.
Right.
Think about how that unified us as college football fans. And now today we're going to have likely an injunction put in place that will stop the NCAA from enforcing rules against NIL recruiting. Do you guys realize that suit is going in front of a judge today? And I think there's an excellent chance that injunction is granted. From the highs of realignment, I think this NIL thing is a huge, huge deal.
Yeah, and I think what's scary about it is we don't know how far it's going to go. We don't know. Like, I think that's one of the biggest challenges around the portal NIL conversation is it's very undefined. It's not like we're like, all right, so like in the NFL, hey, we're gonna move kickoffs up to the 25. What do you guys think about that? It's a player safety issue. What do you think? It's a very straightforward conversation. Yeah, let's move it up. We'll kick it through the end zone every time. And if you want them to return it, okay, cool. This is like, hey, we feel like this is an antitrust issue. We feel like this is a huge Supreme Court level conversation. And by the way, if we win this thing, cool, you can't enforce NIL regulation, but also what is the ramification of that on the sport and on the culture and on the conversations and the relationships? And that's what I think is dangerous for college football. We don't know what a college football system looks like where you can just say, okay, I've got my checkbook. I'm going to write a check for $1 million. Hey, player A, come and play for me. Like, if it's that simple, it truly is like, all right, just free agency, we're just going to try and sign guys. And that I think is kind of insane. I don't know. I don't know how you sort of keep all that organized and keep it all on the up and up. I don't know how you do that.
Well, I also think that part of what you're talking about there is the one constant in the last 5 years in college football has been change. There's no change in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, there's a tweak in the kickoffs. Nobody cares. The game is the game. The Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. It doesn't go from the BCS to the college football playoff. We don't have lawsuits over people getting left out because they weren't good enough. It's football. It's $1 billion. And I think this year, I think this year it's projected to be a $12 billion sport, the National Football League.
Yeah.
$12 billion we're talking about. It's wild. And I think that ever consistent change and the instability in college football is killing the sport. I think it is stagnating growth. I think it is a turnoff to multiple generations. I can tell you I'm 50 years old and the NIL transfer portal thing is not a turnoff to me, but everybody that I know that is my age or older hates it.
Mm-hmm.
I am tired of talking to somebody yesterday about, the transfer portal and this story at Oklahoma and that Dylan Gabriel transferred. I'm still hearing from Oklahoma fans who are bitter and pissed off that he got in the transfer portal.
Well, I think Dylan Gabriel is a great example of one of those guys who'd have been a legacy player at Oklahoma pre-transfer portal era. He'd have been a 3-year guy who would have left with a super positive reputation at Oklahoma and everything would have been great. But we're in a different era now. And frankly, for Dylan Gabriel, you look at him, a little bit smaller of a quarterback, look at his skill set, look at the way he plays the game. He understands that he's got to play in bigger games than Oklahoma can probably get him to right now. And that's the challenge for players, that they are tasked with, hey, what is the best situation here? It's kind of like when we look at different jobs. Hey, so I'm making $1 million right now, but this job over here will pay me $1.1 million, but there's all these different circumstances and it winds up not actually being that good. And so I think it just makes a situation where we just have to endure constant change. And I think your point about the Super Bowl is spot on. The only change we get in the Super Bowl is where we're playing it. That's it. And we celebrate that change. We want to see the different stadiums. That's the insane part about it. The change in the NFL is positive, accepted, normalized change. And in college football, it's not. It's seismic.
I think if you begin paying college football players, it gets worse. And again, I don't mean to be redundant. You go back to this ruling today, where is it, in Tennessee, I guess. If that injunction is granted, do you understand what that means. It means that a school can call your favorite quarterback and say, come here, we'll give you $5 million to come to this university. That's what this means. That a university is now going to carve out a budget inside of football and basketball to pay players to transfer to their school. And you think we have a separation of classes now? And you think that the God tier in college football is changing the way the game is played now? What happens when Michigan doesn't spend money on cheating, sign stealing? Instead, they're calling your quarterback because free Harbaugh is going to the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when universities like Florida State, Georgia, Alabama can just call your best linebacker and say, you know, we've got $10 million sitting here for you. Why don't you come play for us?
It's really unfair.
All right, coach, see you in a couple of weeks. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to, I think it is, and I understand that we need compensation. I get it. If you take the reins off and you hand the behemoths of college football a blank check, which they're going to turn around and write to a player, you're in real trouble now.
Yeah, and I think one of the only ways that you can bring any type of settling, if you will, to the dust on this situation is by allowing schools to get into contract situations with players. I don't know how else you change it, because if you look at other major sports leagues around the world, look at what they do in like the Premier League as an example. Oh, hey, you want to make a deal? Well, okay, you can have this player for this much, but you're also going to pay us a fee on top of that, right? Oh, hey, you want to be first overall in this year's NFL draft? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, you're going to have to give us a pick and a player, and then we'll make that deal. So it's like, hey, Oregon, you want Dylan Gabriel from us, and he would like to go? Okay, cool. You can have him, but we're going to need X, Y, and Z. And you got to have rules around what X, Y, and Z can look like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we are in a very dangerous time for college football and basketball.
But like, can you
honest to God,
in college sports, that type of setup in college sports, that's crazy, insane.
It is going to be transformative, because I don't see any way that we get away from universities directly paying players. I don't see any way we get away from it. And I think it just is what it is.
NIL
right?
opened the door, man. Now you're on the elevator going up to the 100th floor, dude.
Watch what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Yeah.
Watch what you wish for, because you just might get it. All right. Let's get your comments in here. Presented by our good friends at Big O Tires in American Fork. Big O Tires in American Fork, your total car care experts. Find them on Instagram, find them on Twitter, find them on Facebook. Tell them you heard about them on the Monty Show. Friday, our Amazon gift card giveaway may well involve that.
Yes.
We always are trying to work in the Bucked Ups of the world, or Big O Tires in American Fork. That might be the one.
And by the way, just want to point this out, because I know we all like to say, oh, well, Monty, I live in Texas, or I live in New York, or, you're doing a Utah-only thing. This isn't a Utah-only thing. He can ship you tires, dude. You can support this small local business from abroad. So don't make any excuses. Excuses here.
All I'm saying is we support local business on this show. We always have. Those have always been our partners, whether it's the Advocates, again, Bucked Up, Papa Murphy's, you name it. All of our program sponsors, we really focus on small local businesses. Ryan and the guys at Big O Tires in American Fork, that's a locally owned business. They do tires. I've told you all about my Michelin Cross Climate 2s. Best tire in the business. I love it. It has been an amazing tire for me. Every snow condition. We were less than a week ago driving through a hellacious blizzard. The Cross Climate 2 performed. And I love everything about it. But no matter what class or size of tire you need, Big O Tires in American Fork has it. No matter what you want in your car care, whether that's a check engine light or what you need is an oil change, an alignment, suspension. Maybe you want to put a lift kit on your truck or your Jeep. Big O Tires in American Fork. They've got the hookup. They'll take care of everything from parts and labor to aftercare, you name it. Big O Tires and American Fork. Find them online. Make sure you leave them a note on Instagram that says, I heard about you guys on the Monty Show. Love you. Hook it up. All right, let's see who's first in today. Sean Rollins gifted a Monty Show membership.
Okay. Let's go, baby.
Thank you, Sean Rollins. Appreciate that. Good to see you this morning. Man, look at all the comments. Kaufman, first one in today. He says the main reason the NFL is better is it's about winning. College is about popular votes, not winning meaningful games. Well, there is some of that. There is no doubt about that. Force Ghost Fabio says, good morning, Monty. Well, hello, Fabio. How are you? Mike Smith, good morning. I'm hungry. This is what I was telling you. Someone pick me up a breakfast sandwich, please.
Fat.
Man, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That
little
just
fried egg, little sausage, little croissant.
I'll tell you what. Last night, I was exhausted.
Mm.
We get up at 4:00 to do this show, so it's early. And I made some quick tacos last night. Fresh shredded lettuce, fresh chopped tomato, fresh green onion, turkey meat. It was amazing. Again, I did it. I took 2 tortillas, melted cheese between them.
Boom.
Built a taco on top of it. Amazing. And yeah, then went to bed, had a massive headache at midnight last night. That was the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys wake up in the middle of the night? Sometimes you have a headache and it's terrible. I had that last night. And the funny thing about last night, I was trying to get back to sleep. I was pretty much awake or mildly awake from midnight to 2:00, trying to remember the golf commentator Kevin Kistner's name. Why? I don't know why.
What is his name?
I don't know why.
It's not Kevin Costner. It's Kevin Kistner.
Yeah, Kiss. UW fan Jim, good morning. He says, go Dogs. There you go. Mike Smith, build up for the draft makes the NFL offseason a tad more easier to get through. It does. I would agree with that. Sean Rollins says, hit the like button. Yes. Mike Smith says, Life Jacket Tuesday. Are you guys going boating?
Why are you hating, dude? Why are you hating?
What do you mean?
I think that's a reference to us wearing vests on the show because it's freezing outside.
Mine's not a puffer vest. I'm just fat, so it looks like a puffer vest. You're the one wearing a full-on life jacket over there. Jay Chapman agreed. Kaufman, it's all and it's about to be better than it ever has been. Conference play in college football is great. You awake over there,
dude? Keep reading the comments.
The problem is unrelated to conference play.
Yeah.
The issue is how many people watch and how much money is being made. And that number is shrinking. That's the trend is not like this for college football. It's much more of a roller coaster, and it is wholly dependent on the size of the teams playing in the final.
Yes.
Whereas the Super Bowl just draws.
And I think you see a touch of that, right? Like, obviously, there have been Super Bowls that are, way less attractive than let's say Chiefs Niners, right? Chiefs Niners is iconic. It is. You don't think that's an iconic Super Bowl?
I mean, it is, but the 49er fan base isn't what it used to. It had a much larger audience than Chiefs and Eagles.
Yeah.
You're 10% larger than last year.
Yeah, not even close.
Chiefs and Eagles. Listen, 49ers and Chiefs is iconic. You're exactly right. How much of that was Taylor Swift?
I think there's a good part of it. I mean, I don't know if it's a third per se, but I do think,
Is it a 10% bump in viewership?
I would be comfortable saying it's at least 5%. Yeah, I think you've got, you tell me there's not a single Swiftie who wasn't into football and now is partially because of Taylor Swift. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Calford Axe. NFL has a world interest, especially the countries that they have played in. But again, isn't college football a global sport? Isn't that what they're selling us? That
I guess.
Is it not? UW fan Jim, Super Bowl is an event and it's worldwide. Is the college football playoff not an event and worldwide? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Boyd Lake, the NFL doesn't play meaningless games in the regular season. All the playoff winners have a path to the Super Bowl. Truth. I mean, and that's why the wild card, expanding the wild card, which is what the NBA just did.
Yeah.
But expanding the wild card, it was huge because it keeps more markets in it. I agree with that 100%. OG Gary, college football is far more superior of a product. I don't care what the numbers say. College football means more. And that's just me. I am way more of a college football guy. The product in the NFL, it's better football.
Yeah.
It is more precise. It is executed at a higher level. It is the mental part of the game, the maturity of the body. It is a very, very different product than you get in college. I think in college you have a lot of mental mistakes that don't take place at the next level. I think when you're talking about maximum contracts and you're talking about legacies for players are not written in college football. Legacies are rarely written unless you're a Tim Tebow, for instance, or whoever.
Right.
Your legacies usually are written in the NFL. And Patrick Mahomes, all the fake quotes about how he was made at Texas Tech, that's cool. Patrick Mahomes was made in Kansas City at Burrowhead Stadium.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right. I mean, there just is. I don't know of a Tom Brady. Tom Brady doesn't have a Michigan legacy, but he's the greatest quarterback that's ever played the game. Right? Your legacies are written in the NFL, not in college football.
And maybe that's part of the conversation. Like the NFL, when you're really good in the NFL, nobody's like, man, you were like Tom Brady as an example. No, when you hear Tom Brady, you're not thinking, man, he was the best Patriot ever, even though he probably was. You're thinking that's the best quarterback all the time, man. Like Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, right? Like Aaron Rodgers might be one of the best examples. Pre-Jets, that guy was a Packer legend.
Yeah, well, and that's because he was immunized.
Just can't help yourself, can you?
What?
Just can't help yourself, you know.
Yeah, I've been immunized.
I don't understand why that.
Where is Aaron right now?
Dude.
He was immunized.
All right, we're going to move on here.
Okay. Eric, in Raleigh, the NFL is played by people who only do that. College football players still technically have to go to classes. You're not wrong about that. I mean, I think the game at the NFL level is just far more refined.
Mm-hmm.
And your body, the bodies of the NFL, the speed of the NFL. You look at just the incredible ability, the precision. I mean, you're not getting that in college football. College football is not a bad product.
No.
It's just not the same product.
I do think college football relies on that type of chaos in a game that stems from mistakes made or just,
interception. On 4th down and 9 in college football, you're probably getting an interception.
Yeah.
And that interception is probably happening on a 6-yard out route.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the difference to me. I think that's right. Harry Austin, how much of an impact has all the realignment had impacted college football as well? I think it was actually very good. I think the buzz and the excitement around realignment was nothing short of magical last fall. But I think this NIL stuff, I think this has been a very tumultuous 6 months. I think the Jim Harbaugh cheating stuff was terrible for college football. I think the damage that the Michigan cheating scandal has done to college football, I think people don't even recognize that your national championship team is admittedly guilty of cheating. I think that's incredibly damaging. I think NIL is far more damaging than that. And the transfer portal nonsense, I think, really hurts brands and the fans' ability to connect when you have major talent, especially at the quarterback position, changing universities.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Will Howard going from K-State to Ohio State is not good for college football. It only makes Ohio State better.
Mm-hmm.
It makes Lloyd Carr a better coach. Right? Like it just is I think it's inarguable. The transfer portal really, it's the damage that you don't recognize.
It used to be that you could say college football made men, and now we can't say that.
Well, that might be strong. I think what you can't say anymore is that every team has a chance every year, because they don't. K-State has very little chance to win a championship. If that's the reality of it. If Will Howard's going to leave Manhattan for Columbus, K-State doesn't have a chance, right? Like, and I think there are, if you look across the SEC, if you look across every major conference, like Missouri this past year, great upstart program, does not have a chance to win a national championship. Doesn't. I mean, is their path easier than K-State? Certainly it is. Because you're in the SEC, you're going to get a box check, no doubt about it. But it does not mean that Vanderbilt has a chance to win. Stanford or Cal, Washington State has zero ability to compete for a national championship.
Correct.
None.
Yeah.
And when this ruling comes down today, if it comes down today, giving schools the ability to pay kids NIL money to come and play at their university, UCLA's done. Washington State is done. It's over. It's over. Because you're not going to compete. You're not going to compete at that level.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough.
You may want to, but Dakota Tubbs, we love NIL here in Missouri. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody's picking Missouri over Ole Miss, Alabama, Georgia.
Facts.
Nobody's picking Missouri over Ohio State. The big boys, nobody's picking Missouri over the big boys. You're not going to get that. I put Missouri into a group where you're good, you're just not good enough. You're big, you're just not big enough.
Right.
Right. And college basketball is different. I think you look at some of the mid-major majors. I mean, there's a clear delineation point. Like, I mean, pick your conference. Okay, I agree. Let's talk about the SEC. Right? If we look at the SEC in football, adding Oklahoma and Texas, who's going to Missouri over Texas?
Nobody.
Who's going to, in what was Missouri? 11-2 this year? Who's going to Missouri over Florida? A kid in Florida is not going to Missouri if he can get paid at Florida.
Yeah.
He's not going to Missouri if he can get paid at Miami. He's not going to Missouri if he can get paid at Florida State.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. It's not just about the nameplate and the nameplate's reputation. It's about the situation too. And
now don't forget that SMU has all that money.
Right.
Don't you know who I am?
Real quick, there was a dude in the comment section yesterday who was like, "You guys are totally wrong. I told you, you were totally wrong about SMU. We delivered the ACC a pipeline to Texas." Sure you did. Look, I mean, just live with your head in the sand.
You keep telling people that, man.
Live with your head in the sand. And if you look at the Big Ten, who's going to Indiana over Oregon or Washington?
To play basketball, right?
Sure. Nobody. Because Uncle Phil's got bread, right? Like there's a clear, I'm very curious about Wisconsin and Nebraska.
Might want to start moving. Got to start moving forward, man.
Do you put Missouri in the same cut as Wisconsin and Nebraska?
Yeah, I think right now here today, Missouri's better than those.
If Luke Fickell truly does turn this thing around in Madison, you're screwed.
Agreed.
If you can figure out how to win at Nebraska and Lincoln, you're screwed. Because you're looking at Missouri has always been able to compete recruiting wise. They've always been able to have a compelling reason. NIL, and this is not just Missouri, this is everybody. NIL takes the compelling out of your reasoning. Because now you got to contend with, forget Nebraska, forget Wisconsin. Now you got to contend with Dion.
Right.
Now you got to contend with all these other dudes who can pay you hordes of money. It's terrible for the game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's terrible for the game. It just is, and I don't mean to drone on that point. It's terrible for the game.
Terrible.
And this is a moment in time. And if this ruling happens today, I hope that we all recognize this. The gravity of this moment. If they put that injunction in place that prevents the NCAA from enforcing rules which do not currently allow universities to hand a kid a check or wire money into his bank account, you are specifically forbidden from saying to Jimmy the quarterback, hey, you come to Missouri, we'll wire $10 million to your account today. Not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Right up until this injunction's put in place. Then you can do that. And remember, you're not going to be able to retroactively punish people who take advantage of that.
So
you're just not.
How long is the window? That's the question.
And it's going to be a long one. This spring, and what does it impact? The spring portal. That's what it impacts. Because now the spring portal is not just the bottom 3/4 of Colorado's roster who sucked anyway.
Right.
Now it's gravitational talent who's like, well, sorry, man, I got to leave, Vandy because Georgia's offering me $500,000 today.
And you're going to take that all day long.
It's a tough argument to make. Dakota Tubbs, the local kids stay home, Monty. They don't. That's a fallacy. That's not true. And this is something we've talked about this at length on the show. Local kids all have price tags. And we can, and I think I ranted about this. It might have been in a YouTube short. I don't know. Local kids have price tags too. Local kids don't stay home. Right. I don't know how to accurately portray this to and again, Missouri's just the example here, but if you're in Columbia, Missouri, or if you're, but if you're in St. Louis, are you staying home? If you're in Kansas City, are you staying home? No, you're not going to Missouri because all of a sudden, man, Missouri went 11-2 last year. Mom, I got to stay home. But son, Alabama offered you $50 million. I don't care, Mom. I want to be a Tiger.
So wait, if all the local kids stay home, why did Boise's own Porter Gustin go to USC instead of Boise State? And, that's right, because they don't.
And it's been much bandied about. Bronco Mendenhall, you remember Porter Gustin. Bronco Mendenhall told Porter Gustin, yeah, our scholarships are gone for linebackers. Utah offered him. Boise offered him. Why did he go to USC? So he could play for the Cleveland Browns. Now, if you want to point to these other circumstances, I can go across the country in recruiting, and you can see the delineation point. And maybe our state's the best state for this. Because Utah, and everybody's like, oh, Utah doesn't do shit. Well, I got news for you. The Poly Pipeline starts and ends in Utah. Does that mean that Damian Mama stayed here? No, he went to USC. But does that mean that Kyle Whittingham isn't a prolific recruiter in Florida? No, it does not, because he is. Now, the question is, if you get offered $5 million from Florida and $10 million from Utah, are you taking 10 from Utah or 5 from Florida if you're a Florida kid? That's what the conversation is going to be. So with all due respect, we can sit here and say, hey, look at all the talent that Missouri's been able to keep in the state because of NIL. It doesn't matter when the university can pay you directly. That's what I'm trying to...
You ever heard of direct deposit there, kid?
When USC can pay you $10 million, you're not staying home. You're going to USC. You're going to Ohio State. You're going to Michigan.
I think the only other thing that's interesting on this conversation about paying players directly is commitment from the player. So if SC pays a kid from Missouri, right, does that mean, and that kid takes $10 million, let's say, does that mean, is that for one season or is that for 3 seasons? Or
good friend of the program, college football guy, makes a really good point. to tell your friend in Missouri that airfare is cheap when you're making $5 million a year in NIL. and you know what else that NIL money does? Yet allows you to fly mom, dad, cousin, uncle, grandma out to the national championship game that you're playing.
Oh.
That's what this injunction today. And I will say it again at 6:50 Mountain Time. Today could be the day that college football has changed forever, because if they get an injunction, I believe the NCAA will fold. If this judge gives an injunction to Tennessee, because I think this is in the state of Tennessee, if this judge says, yeah, schools can pay players directly, I don't think the NCAA fights back. Because what's it do? It writes a whole bunch of new policy for the NCAA, who's already trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So why would they fight it?
Yeah.
I don't think the NCAA fights it. Today's the day, much to Dakota's point. Today's the day, Mom, I want to play for the Tigers. No, you don't, because they're not paying you. Mom, I want to be a volunteer. No, you don't, because Texas has more money.
We built this program on NIL.
And I think what's really interesting is the narrative that we've seen, and I think Deion Sanders does a great job of this. The kids want to play in big games. Because what happens when you play in big games?
More eyes.
Better draft stock. Better NIL money. More NIL money. Because just because the school can pay you doesn't mean that others can't. Right? Like, it's all formulaic. I don't know. And Gary, see, and this is, again, and I mean no slight to Missouri or any other program. Gary's exactly right. Because what is LSU? A football powerhouse who's about to have a quarterback drafted maybe in the top 5 picks. Depends on if he shows up to the combine with rocks in his pocket. But that's neither here nor there. You're putting guys in the NFL. LSU's a powerhouse. LSU can afford to pay kids to come play there.
Yes.
And yeah, you're going to LSU.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, again, Missouri, you want to be a Tiger? Yeah, let's go to LSU. Let's go to Auburn, who's got a history of already paying players. Right? It sucks. There's no way around the fact that this sucks for college football. Because the college football you know and love could end today.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm not trying to be dramatic, that's why I wore a life vest today.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that we're...
Monty!
Oh, Monty, make it stop, Monty! Oh, God! I wore a life vest because the Titanic known as college football is going down. Like your mom. I'm just, that's what I think this is. That's what I think this is. I just don't know. Why haven't you hit the like button yet? We've had almost 600 views today, and we only have 31 likes.
Come on.
Pick up the pace. Giggity. Missouri probably gets a ton of in-state guys because who wants to live in Missouri?
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow. Big Daddy Magic. Hey, players, I'm going to send you a wonderful video tonight. You're going to love it. Please
okay,
don't.
dude. I don't,
and I will say this, and I probably shouldn't. Big Daddy Magic sends me videos, and he is only partially clothed.
Via social media.
Thankfully, I can only see his naked shoulders.
Macaque.
Which is too much.
Stay hard.
It's too much. But the Monty Show official UN ambassador, Big Daddy Magic,
right,
who I am sure last night, I mean, just volumes of
Victor's the way.
liters
dude.
of
Like,
with Victor having a triple-double, including 10 blocks.
Daddy.
I am surprised you showed up to the show today, bro. Honestly.
Gumby fresh out. What time is that in Arizona? 2 a.m. Boyd Lake, are multi-year contracts coming to NIL? I think
so,
they are.
Because again, if you're going to pay a kid, the kid's got to commit on some level. Like it can't, because that's the thing with the portal. The portal is obviously the avenue to change teams, but you can't just have, hey, here's $10 million. We agree on a 3-year deal, and then the kid hops in the portal. What, are you going to ask for a refund from the kid? Right? Like, this is what I mean. So if you're going to go to this free agency pro style situation in college sports, there's got to be structure. There's got to be, hey, yeah, we're going to sign you to a 3-year deal. Okay, cool. Agents from the pros are now going to start bleeding into college athletics. Like it's inevitable, man. This is why I say to all the, oh man, Missouri, K-State, Oklahoma, Stanford might want to win some ball games, dude. Might want to go on the football field and win some games. Because if you don't win, it doesn't matter how deep your pockets are at Stanford. Nobody wants to play for you.
And I think you're going to see, similar to coaches, you're going to see buyouts.
Yeah.
You're going to see buyouts. So if you're going to leave Florida, you got to pay us $2 million to get out of your NIL agreement.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay because SMU has the money to buy out my contract.
Right.
I think you're going to see stuff like that. Daniel Dixon. Okay with players getting paid, but part of the deal, have to have a no opt-out clause, have to play bowl games. Yeah, I think you're going to see that these are going to be structured very, very highly. That
people get so pissy about kids not playing bowl games.
They do. They do. Which, again, why would you want your team's favorite quarterback to play in a bowl game that means nothing? Because they're not opting out of the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
It is the, Jimmy's breakfast sandwich bowl in Murfreesboro.
How about that?
Where every ticket gets you a free side of sausage gravy. Those are the bowls that guys don't want to play in.
Ooh.
And if you are a fan of any quarterback who's opted out and you don't like them anymore, I remember in the bowl season, I've lost respect for X player because he doesn't want to play in the, Jimmy Walker mower blade sharpening bowl.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He doesn't want to play in the Kevy's tile installation bowl.
Jimmy's garage floor epoxy bowl.
Hey, I'm Rogelio. I am your go-to tile installer bowl.com. / fuck off.
I'm going to grout your ass up and down this wall.
Yeah. This is the Broken Grout Bowl. Sponsored by Rogelio's Tile.
Or Teddy Wayman.
Right? I don't want my quarterback playing it. I want him getting ready for the draft at that point.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about the granddaddy of them all, of course, I mean the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
You're going to play in it. But if it's one of the college football playoff games, of course you want your quarterback to play in that.
Yes.
Old White says the Procter & Gamble douche bowl. Exactly right. It's a summerseve.com/bowl game presented by Kim Kardashian. All right.
Q Janus.
The Calford Axe.
Dude.
It's the Hiscock Bowl.
Hiscock. Anita Dick and me.
Buy one, get one free on our website.
Oh, so good, Calford.
Dude.
Right. No one wants to come to Como. Seeing where Missouri is on the transfer portal may shock you. It doesn't matter where you are now. God.
You just have to snap out of
Dakota,
it a little bit.
Some days I think you just want to be likes to fight guy.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you are now. It doesn't matter what you're paying NIL now. Because if this ruling goes through today, it's completely different.
It's all over.
You want to live in where you are now. I guess people don't want to go to USC either. Nobody said that. Because I got news for you. Staying home to play in Los Angeles is different than staying home to play in Columbia.
Ooh.
It's different. And sometimes you just like to be likes to fight guy.
Yes.
And whether it's Tucker Carlson and you defending Vladimir Putin,
good to hear his point of view.
Or hey, Missouri offers NIL money. Everybody offers NIL money. And when it's not tens of millions of dollars paid directly by the university, it's a little different. It wears me out sometimes where we do this thing where you can't have the ability to say, yeah, that's probably true. As a brand, we're in trouble. As a brand, you're in trouble.
Better get that sales department going. You're going to need a hell of a lot more money.
Yeah, might want to get a new sales playbook, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It drives me crazy that people won't. Whether it's the Michigan cheating scandal or whatever thing it's been, at some point you have to realize that you are who you are.
You have to know when you're conquered, bud. And
would you comment?
This is.
Would I?
No, we wouldn't. But I'm telling you, you should.
To me, it is the tragedy of college football that we know today in 2024.
And I'm not even saying I'm happy about it for programs like Missouri, but it is the reality of the situation.
You better hope if you are if you're a Mississippi State fan, Ole Miss wins today if this injunction happens. You don't. If you're a Texas A&M fan, Texas wins today. You don't.
But isn't there some poetic justice in that? Because what did we hear through the Florida State saga? Oh, well, it should be about what you do between the white lines, Monty. It should be about playing football games. It should be about the better team wins. Well, that's what this is.
Hey, Monty, what if? Well, there is no what if. There is no what if.
Kids want to play at Ole Miss, not Mississippi State. They want to play at USC, not Missouri. With all due respect, Dakota. And I love you, bro. I'm not even trying to make it personal with you, but this is the example that you've laid out for us. Like, that's the reality of it, man. They want to be in LA, not in the middle of nowhere in the middle of this country. It's not fun for a kid, dude. So again, I'm dying on this hill for as long as I live, man. The kid wants to go and play for a program that wins and plays in big ball games. And now they can get paid to do it. Great. Sign me up.
Yeah, I think the truth hurts a lot of mid-table teams in the Power Four. You're the ones.
Oregon State when Jonathan Smith left for Michigan State. Like,
speaking of Jonathan Smith, do you think he would have been a candidate for Washington and UCLA?
Yes, undoubtedly. Top candidate.
Wouldn't you rather coach at Washington instead of Michigan State?
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting. Like, you look at Bill O'Brien's situation leaving when I saw that, I thought of Jonathan Smith and I said, hey, you're telling me you're not interested in UCLA or
oh my God,
or Washington?
Oh my God.
Come on, dude.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Whew. Okay, there you go.
Man.
Gumby fresh out. If you smell
wow
when Uncle Monty's cooking.
Dude.
Jake was joking with me yesterday. He's like, it's all Monty now. Hey, Monty. It's not Monty. Like,
no, it's Monty.
The Monty
show.
Should
we change the rap on the show to say MONNY?
Uncle Monty Show?
Yeah, the Uncle Monty Show.
And I should tell you guys here on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, where you can chat with an attorney live online and it will never cost you a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Theadvocates.com, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So if you get hurt at work today, maybe you were hurt at work yesterday, they're the best injury attorneys when it comes to workman's comp, workplace injuries. And hey, I know that insurance, including workman's comp, is a complete scam because all they're doing is trying to work to keep money from you. And I know that the advocates do it better than anybody else because they always get you every penny you deserve. That's why they're called the advocates, because they are going to advocate for you. They're going to fight for you at theadvocates.com. No consultation fees, no retainers, just the best representation so you can get back to the best version of yourself at theadvocates.com. But there is a new rap coming, by the way.
Yeah. And it's going to have more Normans on it, just so we're clear.
It's going to be all Normans.
Yeah, all Norman.
So
the Norman Show.
This BS right here, little Ames, Iowa.
Little Missouri here.
You know, little Clemson.
Dabo.
Screw you, Dabo. Oxford, Norman. It's probably different than what you're thinking, though. Anyway, New rap is coming. Looking forward to that. Mike Smith, Uncle Monty Morning Mormon Show. Exactly.
Yes.
Until I'm dead next week.
Of course, yes. Yep.
I shouldn't say that out loud, right?
You.
Mike also says new Norman Bates rap. Exactly right. It's actually a Master Bates rap.
See what he did there? That's like a Master Bates joke. See that?
Calford Axe says it needs Berkeley. Isn't Berkeley on this wall? Berkeley's on this wall somewhere.
Sure.
We had a fight over how to spell
sure.
Berkeley.
Berkeley's on there. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toke another bowl. We're fine.
Yeah.
That's the untrained eye.
The only thing you did today, Tennessee, is weaken a nation. Caffey. That's exactly right. Gumby Fresh Out says it also needs the big Lubbock. I totally agree with that. A hundo P.
Yeah, should the rap just not be cities and it should just be all drop references from the show?
You weakened a country today, Caffey.
I don't give a damn what you think.
And then sleep under the very veil of the protections that your mom pounded my box.
Yes.
Okay. That felt aggressive. Monty, you're too belligerent on a show. You curse too much. I know.
You want me on your phone.
You need me on your phone. Anyway. Okay. How are we feeling today? The biggest stories in sports is always brought to you by Prize Picks, prizepicks.com.
Okay, we got to talk about this, dude. So what did you do last night? What did you have last night?
Donovan Mitchell. Donnie. Wow. Donnie came through.
Wow.
Giant anus came through.
Giant anus.
Yeah. Giant anus on Tecumpo'd.
Wow.
Giant anus came through.
Wow.
Now, Steph, 2 points short. So you guys remember on Friday.
Yeah.
Or whatever day it was. Poke the fat guy day. I lost by 1 point on two guys. No cash. Super Bowl, cash. Yesterday, 2 of 3, cash. It's been too long since Uncle Monty hit the Prize Picks jackpot and went 3 for 3.
Hey, Monty.
And today we're going to do that. Prize Picks has been amazing, and pitchers and catchers are reporting.
Let's go.
Did you guys see the video of Shohei hitting bombs yesterday?
Yeah,
They
just,
had
steps in the cage, no problem.
They had a low angle camera in the batting cage. And I don't know that I've never seen anybody barrel the way he barrels. Like every ball is in the middle of the barrel.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the guy is sensational.
And I wish the Cubs would announce Cody Bellinger already. Oh, wait, they're not going to sign Cody Bellinger, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Baseball's phenomenal on Prize Picks. The NBA, phenomenal on Prize Picks. Even Prize Picks knows that Walker Kessler and Key should be starting for I should just say Utah Jazz, because Ryan Smith is probably drafting a cease and desist.
Also, golf is fun on Prize Picks.
Yeah. It is fun. And how about the new Sunday Red by Tiger Woods?
Bro, he's available.
Did you guys see his? You don't want him on Prize Picks.
Well, why not? 3 birdies or less. I'm taking less. Duh. Idiot.
But here's the problem. He is a birdie machine, just not the way that Roars is.
Well, the last, again,
Roars.
5 rounds.
I said Roars.
Yeah, Roars. Like, that's a Tiger reference, and it's a Rory reference. Roars.
Roars.
Last 5 rounds at Riviera Country Club. Yeah, 2 birdies. 3 birdies. So, I don't know.
It's rough.
I'm inclined to take less because he doesn't play every week.
Well, I look at Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty.
5 birdies or better. I think that is more for sure. I'll do a PGA one with you. All right. So, on Prize
I'll
Picks.
go Scotty too. That's reliable. All right. What?
When are you gonna become your own man?
Dude, you say I'm stupid and don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just following what you do.
Well, I don't say that. I think that's pretty well a fact.
Right. It's just a known thing. Kind of like, kids wanting to go to USC over Missouri. We understand that. We get it.
Anyway. So on Prize Picks, you only have to do one thing. Like in golf, we're talking about birdies.
Right.
More or less than.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Justin Thomas, 4.5. Boy, that's tough. It's Riviera.
Man.
I think I'm probably more.
Man, that's tough, dude. He's playing well right now, but
Patrick Can't Lay, which is why he's presented by Viagra, is 4.5. Tom Kim is 3.5. Boy, that one's tough.
You gotta take Rory, dude. Come on.
I'm not taking at 4.5.
Yeah.
Come on. Nobody likes Rory. What about your guy Deck?
Yeah, what's that guy?
3.5.
Oh, 3.5.
Oh, we're doing that. Hideki Matsud, your mama.
I'll take Deck. Okay.
Prizepicks.com.
How about my boy Tom Kim?
Promo code Monty. I just said Tom Kim, you prick. Too aggressive. All right, I'm going to go flex play, which means I only need 2 of 3 to get paid. Scotty Scheffler, 4.5 birdies, more. Justin Thomas, 4.5 more. Tom Kim, 3.5 more. $25 to make you holla, boy.
I'm taking Scotty for more than 4.5, Deck for more than 3.5, and Big D Rick for less than 3.5.
Big Dick Rick. Did you get the Phoenix Open? So, what's his name that won the Phoenix Open? Nick Scott.
No.
Oh,
God damn it.
I can't think of the dude's name. The Canadian.
Nick.
Anyway,
golfer Canada.
Yeah, they were chanting Big Dick Nick.
Taylor.
Nick Taylor. The 16th hole, which is out of control at the Phoenix Open. They're chanting Big Dick Nick. Big Dick Nick. And of course, he drains the putt.
Yeah.
And it was wild.
So I'm going Scotty for more than 4.5 birdies, Dak for more than 3.5 birdies, and Big Dick Rick for less than 3.5.
Yep. Gumby fresh out. I'm officially scared now. You probably should.
Yeah.
Keith Carl, that singing has to be a soundbite for the show now. Could be. Giggity, put Cap Ass just above the Monty show.
Y'all reading all this cap ass shit.
Mike Smith, Donnie made money, mo money. Damn right he did.
Right.
Donovan Mitchell is an absolute juggernaut.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Yeah, buddy. He's an absolute juggernaut. OG Gary, more on JT. Thank you. Mike Smith, I can't go for that. No can do. Said I can't go for that.
Wrong one. Sorry, my bad.
No.
That was my bad.
Little Hall and Oates on the show.
Yeah.
Big Dick Black from the George C. Scott movie Hardcore. Okay, I don't watch adult movies.
I'm not sure what we're talking about.
So, Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Use the promo code Monty. You get 100% deposit matching. You put in 50, they'll give you 50. You put in a hundo. You put in 10. You put in 5. You put in a hundo, and they'll give you exactly what you put in up to $100. Use the promo code Monty. Let's play golf together. NBA is where I'm making that money. And I did pretty well on college football.
Mm-hmm.
Prize Picks on college football, I did pretty well. So golf, it is Scotty Scheffler and JT more than 5 or more birdies. And then Tom Kim 4 or more birdies at Riviera starting Thursday. Tiger Woods has his new clothing line out. It is, I think it really exciting. I think it's really exciting.
It is, yeah.
The shoes that they put out. Now I have like 7 pairs of golf shoes, and Mrs. Monty will literally beat me to death if I order another golf shoe. Although she just got a new pair of Jordans.
Yeah, don't you love how that works?
That might be the best pair of Jordans in our house. They're these white soft leather with gold accents.
Okay, real quick.
Why do I care? I think my wife should do what she wants to do.
Dude, you know that, so we talked last hour about this court thing with the NCAA happening in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think people in Tennessee care about this? Somebody rented a crane and parked it out front of the courthouse and hung a Tennessee flag in front of the courthouse. That's how much people care about what's happening in this situation.
Don't say Uncle Monty didn't warn you.
Hey, Monty.
Don't say I didn't warn you. This could absolutely be the day that college football changes forever.
Yeah.
And I think not in a good way. Because it's guys like Dakota Tubbs. Those are the fans that are going to suffer.
Yeah.
We can go up and down the major conferences if you want. And I can tell you straight away, it is like if you look at the ACC, does Wake Forest move your gears in NIL?
Not in football.
Virginia, Pitt, Syracuse, BC. Oh, well, Bill O'Brien. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Miami does. Duke.
Yes.
Basketball.
Yeah, but their football program's made some strides.
Corlano. They do.
Yeah.
Clemson.
Yes. Yes.
Even with Dabo, who doesn't believe in paying players.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter what he believes. He's going to have to if he wants to keep his job.
And I think he thinks he's Nick Saban and he'd rather walk away.
Hey, maybe he will. More power to you, bud.
I truly believe that. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, NC State, Louisville.
Virginia Tech's a really interesting one because Virginia Tech they don't win anything in terms of the college football playoff, but that's one of those ones where you're like, yeah, dude, Virginia Tech football, like they have a bit of heat to them. They play the game a certain type of way, you know? They always have those great entrances and the stadium's lit and like, I don't know. I think Virginia Tech has the creativity and the ability to do some good things in NIL, but not, I mean, obviously they're not going to NIL on the level of Bama.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Louisville, no. I think Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, Lava. Florida State. I don't know about Clemson. See what Dabo does. North Carolina. Duke is Duke. Miami. And I think that's it in the ACC.
Yeah.
The Big 12. What about Oklahoma State? Or excuse me, Okie State.
Stillwater.
Uh-huh. What about Oak State? Seriously.
He's going to have to embrace it. He's another guy. He's another guy who doesn't like it.
How do you not have a quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know.
BYU.
Yes.
BYU what?
Yeah, I think you have to respect them in the end. They had one of the first big NIL deals. Now they haven't done anything since.
Baylor?
No.
Cincy?
No.
Houston?
No.
TCU?
Yeah.
UCF?
Yeah.
Texas Tech?
Yeah.
Rock Chalk?
Yes.
West Virginia.
See, again, I'm
Mountain Mama. Pay me home. See, pay me home like that.
Neil, start winning some damn games.
Neil. That's okay. I've got the portal. K-State.
Oh, my God. No, not until you get a quarterback.
Iowa State.
No.
Okay.
No.
Colorado.
Well, you know what he does. See,
Arizona. Arizona State.
No. Hell no.
Jutta?
No.
What about Jutta?
I don't think so.
The Jutta Jutes.
They don't do it.
What about the Jutta Jutes?
Nice truck deal, but what did you really
nice
do?
Nice truck deal? Look, bro, it's a Ram, not a Dodge.
Yeah.
Get it right. John Hamm for $5 has always been a small handful of teams that could win a national championship. NIL doesn't change that, as it will still just be a handful of teams that can win because they can pay. But isn't this why we're trying to create a God tier? I mean, if we're being honest, right?
I like that phraseology, a God tier. Yeah, we're godly. The rest of you are heathens.
I mean, if you look at hotbeds of recruiting, Texas and Florida, California.
Yeah.
Bloodbath. USC owns California. Forget it. It's over. They own California. But now they got to compete with Oregon for California too.
Yeah.
Right? I want to stay home. Okay. USC will pay you to stay home. I mean, anyway. I think it's different. I really think it's different.
Yeah.
Shout a good morning to you. Gumby, nice truck deal, Jakey Two Holes 2024. Fat Jesus. Nobody told ASU about the NIL thing. No, and apparently Bobby Robbins can't afford anything now. So I don't see how Arizona competes in this. Utah owns USC, Derek Roche says. Like, do they have like a deed of trust, or like how was that transaction? Did they buy them? No, they dominated them on the field, Monty. Check their cornholes.
Yeah.
Okay. Frisbee golf. Frisbee golf or cornhole?
Cornhole.
Okay. Have you ever played Frisbee golf?
No.
Didn't think so. Alex Alonso drove my Chevrolet to the level, but the levee was dry. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. The good old days of drinking whiskey and rye, singing "This'll Be the Day College Football Died." You don't even know that song, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, Kay Nurin, wake up and hit the like button. Yeah.
Yeah. Hyenas.
Nate Davis. Nate Davis.
Wow.
Utah olds, USC definitely, or go to get kids still for California. I don't think Utah owns USC. Utah has beaten USC.
You had a good year last year.
You did. Bryce Martin, hello. The NFL has more parity and more structure for parity versus college football is run by the same 8 teams. Well, now 12. Cornhole, the only game I can play a few beers in. Yes.
Do you think you golfed better after you had a couple while we were in Vegas?
No. The driver says no. The driver detected that was a lie.
Survey says hit it over the water.
You just gotta. And now I've kind of fixed my driver. I think.
Yeah.
I'm more of a fader. Although my golf game's suffering with this project we're working on, and like getting up at 4 a.m. I'm hungry as hell right now.
Yeah, dude.
I am starving right now.
Yes.
Gary, bye, Mississippi State American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the Oxford campus and the SIP. Anyway, is that for my singing or for Mississippi?
I'm not sure.
There are going to be wide sweeping changes. If universities are allowed to pay directly, this becomes kids are state employees. The feds are going to get involved. It's going to be a mess. Yeah. What do you even say about taxes?
Yeah.
Dakota Tubbs. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was broke because it was in Missouri and we couldn't afford to fix it.
Good rebound, dude. Excellent rebound there.
He finished, apparently. Bye. Bring Quinn Snyder back home. Chase Daniel was the best, but then we ever had known.
Apologize to that man.
Should probably stop. John Try. Everyone plays better in horseshoes when they have a few drinks in them.
Yes.
Exactly right. I miss horse. I used to dominate horseshoes. Did you ever play horseshoes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With the spike and actual like horseshoes. I dominate.
Yeah, horseshoes is fun.
I do. I want bacon.
Dude.
Thank you for getting up so early. Love watching, listening while I day trade. What's up, old white? Good to see you. Appreciate that. Alex Alonso. Yeah, but in Louisiana, the levee broke. Well, it actually did.
Yeah.
Okay, too real. Keeps it real. OG Gary drove my Chevy to the levee. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but Lane Kiffin Twitter digs are stupid and dry.
Right.
This will be the day the college football died.
Via social media.
Lane Kiffin's amazing on Twitter.
He is.
Excuse me. The Lane trade is amazing on Twitter.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So where do you guys come down on oh wait, Gumby Fresh Out. I want bacon, Uncle Monty 2024.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we get up early, we kind of grind all day, and Dude, I went to bed at like 7:15 last night.
Dude,
I felt terrible.
You texted me, I believe it was at 7:25. I was like, damn.
I'm out.
Dude's going to bed already.
I'm out. And I ate my wife, I talk about my wife probably too much, but she meal prepped for us this week. I had homemade enchiladas for lunch yesterday. And then we did a taco bar for Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
We had extras left over. I had ground turkey. Like, it was amazing for dinner. And then I just evacuated. We're watching we have a weird existence, I guess. We like to watch International House Hunters at night. And so I'm watching the Jazz game on my phone. And of course, because the Jazz are on, I'm falling asleep.
Right.
You know that weird thing you do where you fight it when you're sleepy and you're like,
yeah.
What? I saw it.
Drop your phone on yourself.
Oh, yesterday when I took some time to eat lunch yesterday, I absolutely dozed off and dropped my phone on my dog's head. I felt bad. But it's brutal, dude. Getting up at 4 a.m. sucks.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna front, man.
I ain't even gonna stand on business on this one.
That didn't work. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but got gas money from UCLA. How long is the project, boys? Miss 5 p.m. Eastern. It never coming back.
Hold on. Whoa. Dude, read the whole comment. Took a PTO day?
Glad to be able to watch.
Dude, PTO to watch the show?
Yes.
Bro, you know that the show does.
He didn't take PTO to watch the show, but we're going to pretend he did.
Yeah,
man, thank you for your time off to watch the Monty show.
Dude, thank you.
Not for a long while. Lucrative.
Yeah.
Opportunities. Going to be interesting to see Sark versus Lane Kiffin in the future. Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Mike Smith, the ground turkey talk is pissing me off. I love it. Mrs. Monty makes amazing taco ground turkey. Oh, so good. You guys know Jed Fish is committed to staying.
Well, but he interviewed for UCLA.
Look, Jason Shear, take it easy. Okay. Yeah, that whole thing yesterday. Stop DMing.
Dude.
And listen, I love my guys in Seattle. I love Washington fan. There's got to be, I must have gotten 10 DMs over the last 2 days. Hey, Monty.
Monty.
Did he really interview at UCLA? Tell me he didn't. We can't.
It became personal with me.
The one dude, this guy Calvin, is like, my heart can't handle it. And I felt I felt like a red ass, but I could not help myself. And I sent him a gif of Celine Dion because of her. My heart can't go. I don't know. He didn't reply, so he might not have understood. Got any golf courses you guys want to play this year that you haven't been to yet?
God,
oh my
so
God.
many.
How many? Dude, we're only doing 3 hours. You can't. Are you kidding me? I was talking to a guy yesterday about Wolf Creek. I think Wolf Creek and Mesquite is a carnival.
Mm-hmm.
You play it once. Last time when we played it last week, the weather was so crappy.
Yeah.
So we'll go back, probably play that again, but that we haven't played.
Sand Hollow.
Yeah, Sand Hollow. I want to play Trump National in LA. I mean, there's just a ton. There's a ton of them. But we're spoiled. We play our home courses, Canyons and Park City, and we're spoiled by that.
Yeah.
Like we play in a really nice course.
I'd really like to get out and play Copper Rock again when it's not cold.
Yeah, Copper Rock in Hurricane. We were supposed to go this coming weekend. It's President's Weekend. No show on Monday, by the way. It's President's Day weekend. It just didn't work out. Paulo, if the Big Ten SEC merge as a super league, that's not happening.
That's not the way it's set up.
Not to take this out on you, Paulo, but how stupid are you? No, I'm kidding. That's not how this is set up. And so many people have this belief. And I can only evangelize for this. There's no merger coming. The Big Ten and the SEC don't want to merge. The Big Ten and the SEC want to create a God tier. which is what Charlie Baker talked about.
Yeah.
This ruling today makes that possible.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is the Big Ten and the SEC and the ACC and whoever else you want to point to, the Big 12, they're going to take their biggest brands and they're going to put them in a God tier. They're not going to leave the Big Ten or the Big 12 or the SEC or Florida State. But anyway, my point is the conference situation doesn't change. What changes is that there is a God tier of schools that will play on a different plateau, that will pay on a different plateau and operate by a different set of rules.
Right.
And it's why I think relegation is the best system possible.
Yeah.
OG Gary, I want to play Thanksgiving Point. It's a very difficult golf course.
Yeah, I played it. It was very cold, very windy. It's a very long course. It's almost 8,000 yards. So if you don't drive at 300, you're going to be
you're playing a lot of fives.
Yeah, you're playing a lot of 3 and 5 wood, man.
Yeah. OG Gary, I can't wait LSU Ole Miss game. We're gonna smack Ole Miss. I love how it's we now.
Yeah.
I can't stand Lane now. Dude keeps taking mad digs because that's what he does. That's what he does. PTO is great, Case says, if you save it and get paid out at the end of the year. But what's the point of saving it?
Yeah.
We have a culture in this country where we don't
work too much, dude.
Yeah, we don't take time off. I take every day possible. You work, you grind. I get up at 4 a.m., dude. I'm taking time off.
Yeah.
I'm going to find days where I can sleep till 6 a.m. You need it. Dakota Tubbs. I've been hearing through the wire.
Oh.
Like the TV show, you mean? That the anonymous $62 donation to Missouri last was courtesy of Daddy Vladdy. This will help us buy players and levies. So Vladimir Putin's a Missouri fan.
Did you hear that in the Tucker Carlson interview?
That not a lot of people watch. I'm really surprised the way that Tucker Carlson thing played out.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by that?
I mean, I'm surprised that Tucker thought he was going to win over Vladimir Putin.
He got his ass kicked. I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Because it was very clear what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was a publicity grab.
Schemers.
And him and Elon, I think, got just absolutely.
You got fooled, dude.
Bro, that was terrible. Anyway, the Fighting Neil Browns will be at the top of the God tier.
You and your mom are hillbillies.
No, they won't. No, don't be drinking moonshine so early. Of course, I pay thousands in tuition, LOL. There you go. Brady Cook, what about Black Desert Golf Course? I know some people who have played it.
I would like to play with more listeners. I'd like to put some rounds together.
Yeah, we should do that. Who wants to go down to Wolf Creek? Let's go.
Let's do it.
I'm ready. We played, like the mayor of Montytown played with us up at Canyons.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's starting to we're starting to see slowly but surely in Utah. We're starting to see the warming trend happening. Starting to see the 60s on the horizon during the day.
OG Gary, I want to play with y'all. Yeah, we don't play with LSU fans.
And yeah, it's
what?
It's yeah, you need to put it together, dude. What, like, you gonna put some PTO in, or what are we doing?
Lee Jensen. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, Lee Jensen.
Hey, y'all.
Juicy. Mike Smith, nice hillbilly drop.
You like that?
Monty's show, Get Together for Golf, the Hiscock Invitational.
That's right.
Hiscock.
Or in Gary's case,
Anita, Dick, and Ming.
You're welcome.
Gary.
You're welcome. All right. Real quick, because I want to talk some NBA today.
Yeah.
Are LeBron, KD, and Steph on their way out? What do you make of that?
I think that it's so funny how different their situations are. Like, to me, LeBron's the closest to being done. Then I think
just
it's
based on the number.
Well, based on the number, but like LeBron could play till he's 50. I honestly believe that. I think he's got the body for it. I think he's got the drive. I think he could do it. He could absolutely do it. but I don't know that he wants to. I think LeBron's sole focus is probably winning one more and then playing with Bronny. I think that's where Bron is at with the situation. And it's why I think them getting Dinwiddie is a big deal. We're going to get to that. But as far as the three of them are concerned, I think Steph is playing some of the best basketball he's played, and he's dealing with a bunch of nonsense in Golden State right now, whether it was the Dre situation, the Jonathan Kuminga situation, Klay Thompson lately trying to find the shot again. Like, there have been drama. Chris Paul's hurt as usual. Like, you know what it is in Golden State. It's Steph and everybody else. So to me, I think that, yeah, they are aging, but I think LeBron is by far the furthest down the road of the three of them. I watch Kevin Durant on most nights. This guy's still getting after it. This guy still has the fire, still wants to end you at the rim. Like,
end you at the rim.
Yeah, he does. He still wants to dunk on dudes. Like, he still has that fire. He does not look like someone who's got a year or two left. He looks like a guy who's still got another 4 or 5 seasons in him. So to me, I think these three guys are the top line of the league right now in terms of stardom and household name status. But
Sure.
but I do think that this conversation around where the league was with these guys and where it's going with the new crop is really interesting, because I'm not so sure, especially when you look at guys like Ja Morant and his situation and his fallout. Like, I'm curious who you guys think the biggest name of the younger guys is in the league, because I'm not sure there's a definitive one.
I think that this league is in a real paradoxical situation with who's next. And I'm not convinced that it's Victor Wembanyama. I mean, Giannis is so damn good on the floor, but is he a superstar personality? Can he carry the NBA marketing wise? I don't know about that. I think what makes LeBron, well, he's one of the greatest ever, but he also has an off the court persona. He is a endorsement magnet.
Yes.
You look at Steph Curry, holes in one, playing golf, like, championships. Again, I think you have to win championships to be the face of the league.
Yes.
And I don't see Victor winning championships in San Antonio. And I don't see Ant winning a championship in Minneapolis. And I mean, like, who else is even in the cup? Like, but Giannis won a championship and it didn't get him over. It didn't get him over. And I think it's very difficult. The NBA is very much unlike the NFL. Like, who's the face of the NFL? Well, nobody's the face of the NFL because they all wear helmets. So you don't have to be a great off-the-field personality, Patrick Mahomes. Who's the best player in the NFL right now? It's probably Patrick Mahomes. But you don't have to be. Now, if you're Travis Kelce and a tight end and you're smashing Taylor Swift, that helps an awful lot. But in the NBA, we look at your face every single night. We need personality, which is why Devin Booker will never be the biggest star in the NBA.
Right.
Which is why Giannis will never be the biggest star in the NBA. Right? Like, Steph is a really good story. The family, the Davidson, the ankles, the rings.
Yeah.
Will Jimmy Butler ever be the biggest star in the NBA? Will Joel Embiid ever be the biggest star in the NBA? Will Jason Tatum ever be the biggest star in the NBA? Yeah, there's the problem. Those are all your best players in the NBA right now, and there's not a personality amongst any of them.
But what about from a different perspective? Like, if we're just talking stardom and personality, doesn't Luka have to be there? He's a pain in the ass on the floor, but he doesn't win. Stardom. He doesn't win. I agree.
And again, I go to this Spencer Dinwiddie thing. Did you guys see this Spencer Dinwiddie thing? Spencer Dinwiddie signed with the Lakers. Hey, Spence, just curious, bud, why'd you sign with the Lakers and not the Mavericks?
Let's say you were a kid and you got your ass whooped by the bully. Dallas would have been like your mama being like, it's okay, baby, don't worry about it. Lakers are like your dad. Nah, you better go out there and fight till you win. You feel me? And I just felt like that was what I needed at the time. You feel me? So I'm a big believer in kind of doing what you need to do at whatever time it is. And so that's how I felt about it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The Mavericks are your mom who are like, it's okay, little buddy. It's okay that you didn't win. It's okay, little buddy. Make up lies about reasons you had fans ejected because he called you fat. It's okay, little buddy, that you don't win. And Spencer's not wrong. He was in Dallas once. He knows that they're not all in to win. Call him Nick Saban because the Lakers understand it takes what it takes. And if you don't win a championship, you're disappointed. You're disappointed every year you don't win a championship.
Yes.
The Bulls aren't. Are the Celtics? Did you guys see the Knicks last night? Tell me the Knicks didn't get effed by the NBA last night.
Yeah.
That was not a foul. Jalen Brunson did not foul Holiday last night. Sorry, that's not a foul. And it's a great story and all that goodness. That's not a foul, dude. How does that happen? Here's another question.
Mm-hmm.
Should the NBA officials be saying, yeah, we got that wrong?
Yes.
After the game, the officials are like, yeah, we got that wrong. Totally blew that call. That's the Knicks, dude. That's the Knicks. That was not a foul. That was not a foul in any way, shape, or form. It's wild to me.
Yeah, I think the hard part about officiating is that they're never going to put an official up in front of the media. And, it just is what it is. And it wasn't a foul. I think everybody agrees on that, yet here we are.
Yeah. I can't believe they called that a foul.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about one of the best stories in the NBA. And what did Brunson have last night? And I think the Rockets are a great story. Don't get me wrong. But you're talking about Jalen Brunson, one of the best players in the NBA right now. 27 points, 7 dimes, 4 boards last night. Goes out, puts a hand up, goes straight up in the air on a 3-point shot. Does not impact the landing zone. They called it a foul. And Holiday hit 2 of 3 free throws, missed the third one intentionally. And yeah, they won the game.
Yeah.
And the Knicks lost. How does that happen?
Human error, dude.
I don't know either. Chrissy, Steph is a great golfer. I do see him retiring early to pursue a career in golf. Yeah.
I don't know about a career. I think that people love to golf, man. It's a fun sport.
Yeah, it is. It is. Mike Smith, look how long the NBA milked MJ and how. Chrissy, even in retirement, ESPN will use LeBron's name for clicks. ESPN wants LeBron to keep playing. They probably do. Shouting. It got better. Trae Young, face of the NBA. Trae Young.
Nah.
Come on, man. Steph may be first due to the drama. I think he may get fed up with it, and I don't think he will play with anyone else.
I don't know, dude. Steph is friends with a lot of people, man. Like, Steph is one of those stars that's very friendly, easy to talk to, not an asshole.
Somebody forgot to tell the Jazz last night that Clay can actually still play.
Yeah.
What a night for Clay last night.
Yeah.
There's definitely no who's next guy. Between marketability and star power, there's none that truly stand out. I agree. Brandon Butler, I think there is way more talent in the league. There is no team I can see right now that can say that one guy is in the finals every year. Parity has arrived. They need to expand to dilute the talent.
That's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it that way. I mean, I think, I think there's no question that the league is as level as it's ever been. But I also think that the conversation around development and what AAU and high school and college is doing to players is also front and center. Because if you pay attention, you flip around, you do your homework, there are a lot of people saying, hey, AAU is the exact opposite of what the league is, right? AAU is, hey, we're going to practice once a week, and then we're going to play like 10 games over the weekend. Whereas like the league is much more flow, right? Hey, we're going to play today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Tomorrow's off when I practice. It's much smoother. And over in Europe's a totally different thing, right? Europe is, hey, we're practicing 5, 6 days a week, and we're playing once, twice a week. It's totally different over there. So when you talk about talent in the league, yeah, there's a lot of talent in the league, but I think the problem is that guys are not getting the same type of development they were at a young age because all we're concerned about is dunks and highlight reels instead of handles and playing the game.
Kay Nuren says, I would put Vic to be the next star. Is he marketable?
Yeah, he's very marketable. He has the star power. The question is, how high is the ceiling? That's the question, because it's pretty good right now. He's playing well.
Well, and he had a triple-double with 10 blocks last night, but the issue is against what resistance, though? And we've seen this week that when he's played bigger, more physical talent, it has not ended well for him. And he's going up against a Raptors team that when you look at their bigs, it's Jakob Poeltl, who he blocked, I think, 4 times out of those 10.
Yeah.
You know, and you look at, how about Kelly Olynyk last night? A -20. Oh, but Monty, he's a building block foundational player. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, -20.
Hey, what about Ocha, dude?
I've never heard of 2 points, 1 of 8 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3.
Oh.
Even. But their big is Jakob Poeltl and Jonte Porter.
Yeah.
So impressive. Triple-double first time in 3 years with 10 blocks. Impressive night.
Yeah.
It is. The eye patch, the smashing Taylor Swifts, right? That's what I'm saying. Robert Fowler, I would say Tatum, but he has really fallen off.
He has.
And he's not marketable, in my opinion. He's a very quiet dude. If Denver can win a title, San Antonio can win a title. That's why the Spurs have to have a major impact this coming off season. Here's the issue. 1, Denver has a generational player that is bigger, stronger, and more skilled than Victor Wembanyama in Jokic.
Right.
And I think you're looking at the talent around Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
Way better in Denver than in San Antonio. That's just baseline. 2, I really worry about Victor's long-term ability to stay healthy. I mean, he is getting, when he runs into the Anthony Davises of the world, it is difficult for him.
Yeah, they move him, bro.
He's got to get bigger and strong, and he has. His leg strength is significantly better. He's now making NBA threes, which is huge. But he does not have a whole lot of talent around him. I mean, it's Vassell and pretty much everybody else.
I think that the thing with Victor is he's developing. Absolutely. It's his rookie season. I think that the like last night, seeing him, you know, hey, we're gonna block a shot, then we're gonna run down, and based on where the ball is in front of me and what my teammates are doing, I'm gonna stop at the 3-point line because that's the natural flow of the play. And then on another play, okay, I'm gonna run and I'm gonna get a rebound, dunk, put back. Like, he identifies the play really well. He sees the floor well. Like, he sees the opportunity in front of him well. That's not an issue. I just think when you're talking about winning championships, Victor's going to be a max, super max guy. Like, you're inevitably going to wind up paying him hundreds of millions of dollars to be the centerpiece of your organization. And again, we've only ever seen one team really win with a big as their superstar, and that's Jokic and the Nuggets. Philly's not one with Embiid, right? Like, the Celtics didn't get better with Porzingis, really. Like, I'm in the modern day, it's difficult to do that with a big.
You can't build around Shaq today.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's the hard part.
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy, right.
One of the worst contracts in the NBA is Rudy Gobert.
I already think, honestly, like, I have no problem saying it. I already think Victor is more valuable to a team than Rudy Gobert. I think he's a better offensive player. I think he sees the floor better. He is a better
perimeter defender. You can use him in pick and roll defense.
Yeah, and I think he's a bit better of a teammate. He gets his teammates involved. There are many times last night where he got the rebound and was looking to kick instead of just going up.
It'd be nice if he would average 15 rebounds a game, and I think eventually he will. But it's just it's a very interesting conundrum. I just don't know how much upside there is in today's world.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Magic. Victor in 2 years will make the Joker fall down on his knees and call him daddy for the next 15 years. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. Daddy? I think Victor Wembanyama will continue to develop, and I think the biggest issue is that you're never going to have the body that Jokic has, and he has the same game. Jokic got his 9th dunk of the season last night. I said he only has 9 dunks on the entire season.
Yeah, because he stands at the elbow and tortures you.
Yes, he does. What about Chet and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
I think SGA has the ability to be a superstar in this league. The problem is he's a low-key guy. You don't really hear from SGA a whole lot. You don't really, you got to go looking for him.
You do.
And I think when you talk about being the face of the league, I don't have to go looking for LeBron. LeBron's looking for me, man. LeBron's, in everyone's face, for better or for worse. And I understand SGA is still on the young. I think he's 26 now. He's not even halfway through his career yet, right? Not even barely entered his prime yet. And to me, I look at SGA and I say, yeah, this guy is a prolific scorer. He is a savage. He is everything you want in terms of basketball. Just don't know that he's got the star power to be that guy.
Which is the question about Walker Kessler and Key. Are the Utah Jazz ready to develop their young players? Now, I guess it depends on who you ask.
Mm-hmm.
I have been telling you that Walker Kessler and Keontae George, and I know I don't know shit about basketball. Just ask
well, you
Jazz
don't even
fans.
watch Jazz games.
I don't watch Jazz games.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that I have been advocating for Keontae George to be your starting point guard for I don't know how long.
Weeks. Hell, longer than that.
Will Hardy, the head coach of the Jazz.
Keontae is a big part of our program. I think that playing with Lowry and John and Walker, all 3 of those guys need facilitators to get them the ball. And I think that to this point in pick and roll and even some of the off-ball stuff with Lowry, I think that Keontae has been a really good facilitator on the whole. Chris knows that his role is still the same for our team. It's still going to be about playing anywhere from 17 to 20 minutes and trying to guard the best player on the floor. But I think that Keontae stepping into that role is ultimately what's best, for our team moving forward.
So let me get this right. Trade deadline passes. You don't trade JC. Incredibly. You trade Olynyk and Agbaji. And now you want to say it's time to start Keontae and Walker Kessler.
I am at a loss. You got boat raced by one of the floundering franchises in the NBA whose head coach was in Europe at a funeral. Steve Kerr did not coach last night. And you got crushed by 22 points. And you play Key 29 minutes, and he's a minus 32. You start Walker Kessler, who plays 26 minutes, 11 points, 9 boards, an assist, 2 steals, 4 blocks, and he's 0, like he's level.
Right.
These are your 2 guys that are your future, in my opinion. Walker Kessler and Keontae George, you see it already. They're special players. Hendricks is a project. Taylor Hendricks is going to be a project. But it's frustrating to me that we're in a situation. Now, listen, Steph Curry is an incredibly difficult player to handle.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is abysmal on a nightly basis. The Jazz, they're terrible defensively. What have you gained by not starting Keontae George and Walker Kessler? Because I don't understand it. And I know I'm just little old simp Monty.
Right.
I don't understand where this organization's going. I have no idea. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. Ryan Smith is not going to spend money to win. Ryan Smith is not going to empower Danny Ainge to Ainge people. He is not going to spend money. He is not going to take on significant payroll because his focus is not winning an NBA championship.
Mm-hmm.
His focus is bringing an NHL franchise to this city. His focus is trading away your veteran players and then using the development of his youngs as an excuse as to why you don't win. And I don't think it was any accident that you traded your two most expensive players in Rudy and Don. Then you hired a coach that was young and inexperienced. So let me get this right. You saved money on the Quinn Snyder move.
Mm-hmm.
You saved money on the Rudy and the Don move. And you have contracts in guys like Lauri Markkanen, who's got one of the most team-friendly contracts in the NBA. You don't have a superstar on your roster. You don't have a guy that's the best player on anybody else's team. And now you've decided that you should start Keontae George, which is not Will Hardy's decision. I've talked to my Jazz guy about this repeatedly.
Right.
Will Hardy has in-game control. He does not have starting five control. This was a core decision to start Keontae George now. And this season, my biggest fear for the Jazz is this season will go down as one of the great lost seasons in Jazz history.
I just don't know what the goal was. Again, if you remember, after the Don and Rudy trade, we got sold a package of, hey, yeah, we're retooling, rebuilding, and that's going to be a 3 to 5 year process. So here we are. And year one was nice. You overachieved. Like, everyone felt good about it. It was year one. Didn't know any better. In year two, to me, hasn't really been much of anything. I mean, yeah, you're hovering around 500.
You had the one run. You had the one streak.
Yeah, but
which was nice. But you're not a playoff team. This is not even a play-in team. There's no point in being a sacrificial lamb as a play-in team. And you've lost 5 of 7 now. And you lit Klay Thompson on fire, who has not been hot for a year.
Right.
And this is a guy that's been benched in the fourth quarter. This is a guy who has not been able to hit water from a boat. And he came out last night and made you look foolish. And now the Lakers are here tomorrow, followed by Golden State, followed by Charlotte, San Antonio on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to go Atlanta, Orlando, and Miami. Or excuse me, after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
You end the All-Star break with the Golden State game Thursday.
Look, all I'm saying is that I just think it makes you as an organization look a little bit silly that you waited until after the deadline to start these guys. Like, it's one of the things I give San Antonio so much credit for. Right. And I know that Victor's a little bit different. Obviously, Keontae George is not Victor Wembanyama. But the Spurs were like, yeah, we're going to draft Victor. We're going to play him as much as we can. And we're going to close that development window as fast as possible. That's what I think you have to do in the league. I don't know why you wouldn't. There's no upside to not.
There's no impetus for them to win now. Because it's expensive. Winning in the NBA is expensive.
Yeah.
You either do it this way or you go through what Oklahoma State's gone through, right? Where you spend an inordinate amount of time developing your talent.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at the roster, SGA, Jalen, Chet, Josh Giddey, Luguentz Dort, Cason Wallace.
Yeah.
The major core of that team are their players that they've drafted and are developing.
And it's working for them.
And they're 36-17. Or you can be the Timber Puppies and you do the exact same thing, but you make some bad decisions along the way. And Anthony Edwards, Cat, Jaden McDaniels. And you also have Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid. So you develop your best players and you trade for the worst contract in the NBA and a leader in Mike Conley. So who's
Just
playing
saying.
29 minutes for Minnesota, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. How long and how many years until the Jazz win a championship?
It's at least another 5.
I think it's at least another 5.
The only thing that changes that is Ryan Smith opening up the pocketbook to change the trajectory of the build.
You would have to have a complete change in philosophy.
Yes.
At this point to win a championship in the next 5 years.
Your best point there is that it's a team decision now. It's an organizational decision to start Keontae now. And that's the part that bothers me the most. If this was Will Hardy being a young coach and he made this mistake and, it was like, oh, hey, Will Hardy said not to and now he's saying to, that's different. But the fact that it was, Jay-Z, Ainge, Will Hardy, I'm
Beyonce,
sure Ryan Smith was in the room, Beyonce, Bodis. The fact that it was the group of them that made this decision tells me one of two things is happening. Ryan Smith is not actually letting the basketball people do the basketballing, or Danny Ainge just simply has lost his mind and can't recognize a rebuild.
Yeah, I don't know. Talking with Raphael podcast.
Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
At what point does the player have to say enough is enough and take action on getting development on their own and not wait for a team? Or am I getting something wrong here? That's summertime. It's the old Donovan Mitchell thing. Go summer runs. Why is Devin Booker now one of the better defensive wing players in this league?
Yeah.
Because he spent an entire summer working on footwork. Why is Donovan Mitchell one of the most dominant players in an MVP candidate this year? Because he spends every single summer building his skill set.
Always comes back with something new.
That's why. But you're not wrong. In the summer, you got to do that. But the only way to win in this league at the development level, minutes. And a lot of them. Why is Walker Kessler in the Team USA basketball pipeline? Got a ton of minutes last year.
Mm-hmm.
People took note, right? Take note.
So CBD did that. That was like a Jazz reference, and it's Walker Kessler.
Keontae needs more minutes.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, what do you do with Taylor Hendricks? Because he does not look ready for the NBA.
How could he be?
Because he's been in the G League all year.
Yeah.
I think you have to suffer with him, and he's got to play 20 minutes a night.
Yes.
Suffer. Let the pain sink in.
Let him learn. Trial by fire, man.
You know what I'm saying? Wait, Jazz got Kyle Lowry for Miami? No, he's going to the Sixers. Nope. If they would have tanked for Victor.
Here we go.
The Utah Jazz would have no problems, and they would be a complete meeting for home quarter vanish throughout the playoffs if they would have adopted Victor.
Victor's the way.
They were never tanking for Victor.
Yeah.
Never. With the cap space, if they can trade a star this summer, when they can trade picks for salary like they did with Collins is the only way. But they don't want to take on big salaries. They don't.
So I'm telling you, man, it's not. Ryan Smith is not engaged on winning a championship.
He's engaged on getting a hockey team to split a building with. That's what he's engaged in. Honest to goodness.
Which, to me, I've pondered this. As an owner of an NBA franchise, I understand why you would want to try and pick up an NHL franchise to split a building with on some level, but you're new in the game. You're not like an old head who's been owning these teams for 50 years. You know what I mean? Like, I would have thought that Ryan would have come in, bought the team, and said, okay, let me establish my knowledge and my ability to go out and win a championship and then go out and do these different things.
Yeah, a couple more. Chris says Kyle Lowry got bought out and will sign with hometown team in Philadelphia. He'll probably retire after this year, I would think. Correct. Finally, Derek Roche. Jutta Jits. You guys make me hate Ryan. Well, I don't think you should hate him. I think you should be disappointed in him.
Yeah, and I think we should be honest about what he's actually doing.
This is the danger of allowing a guy to completely control his own narrative in an entire market.
Yeah.
Ryan Smith owns Utah. Nobody will say a cross word about him. Nobody. The media will not call him out. The media will not ask tough questions.
Oh.
When they don't add a significant star of financial leverage, nobody will say why. They'll just write it off to, oh, he doesn't want to play in Utah. That guy doesn't want to be in Utah. That guy doesn't want to be in Utah. That's what Jazz fans will write it off to. Not, we didn't want to pay the money and make a deal. We didn't want to pay a guy.
Yeah.
Well, we're developed. Larry Markkanen's the best player in the NBA who would be third on any championship caliber team. Monty, you don't know the Jazz. You even watch Jazz games? Nope, not one time. I've never. The Utah Jazz? That sounds familiar. There you go. The Monty Show is always presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. Need mood lighting in here.
Oh.
Turn off the other lights. The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. What happened? Hey, Monty, did you pay your electric bill?
Okay.
You never pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Even if you're sitting in the dark, closing your show. Theadvocates.com. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty program. Until tomorrow, stay dark, Jake.
Stay dark, Jake.